Hello everyone! The Olympics are right around the corner, so I'm celebrating by making these patriotic Funfetti sugar cookies. Go Team USA! Step 1. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And prepare your cookie baking sheet. We ended up using parchment paper for ours because we found it helps with cleanup. And I hope you enjoy some of our kids' custom artwork. For step 2, we're going to work on mixing these dry ingredients. This includes 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and a half teaspoon of baking powder. First, pour in the 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, then the teaspoon of baking soda, and finally the half teaspoon of baking powder. Then use a whisk to mix these dry ingredients. My wife did this for a couple minutes just to make sure it was mixed properly. For the next step, we're saying hello to our old friends butter and sugar. This uses 1 cup of unsalted butter and 1 1/2 cups of granulated sugar. First we poured in the 1 1/2 cups of sugar. Then we added the 2 sticks of unsalted butter. Make sure the butter is softened, not melted. You can accomplish this by placing each stick in the microwave for between 10 to 15 seconds. Once they've been added, it's time to mix. We decided to utilize technology and use our handy stand mixer. But you can also use your standard handheld kitchen mixer. We used a speed setting of between 2 and 4 to cream these 2 ingredients together. And it only takes a couple minutes. For step 4, we add in the wet ingredients, 1 large egg and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. First, we added in the egg. We kept the stand mixer at the same speed setting of 4. And after about a minute, the egg was incorporated and it was time to add the vanilla extract. We mixed that in for another minute. And now it's finally time for our 2 mixing bowls to meet. I once again had my wife do this part because I know I would have made a huge mess. Just speaking from experience. Anyway, we gradually added the dry ingredients from step number 2 to the wet ingredients that we just finished mixing. We mixed until just combined, which took about 2 minutes. For step number 5, we're finally down to the last 2 ingredients. 3 tablespoons of milk and a half cup of Patriotic sprinkles. You can find these Patriotic sprinkles pretty much anywhere online, including Amazon. You can start off step number 5 by pouring in the 3 tablespoons of milk. Allow the milk to fully mix in for a couple minutes. Looks like we're ready for the final colorful ingredient. Pour in the half cup of colorful Patriotic Funfetti Sprinkles. My wife decided to use a spatula to help fold the sprinkles in, and it turned out great. As long as you're careful like this, the sprinkles will stay intact. And you won't have to worry about any of the colors bleeding through. Now that the Funfetti Sprinkles are folded in, the cookie dough is officially done. And when it is complete, it should look like this. Time to grab the prepared cookie baking sheets. Use a cookie dough scoop or spoon to scoop out rounded tablespoons of dough and place them on your cookie sheets. With this amount of cookie dough, you should be able to make at least a couple dozen cookies. And this is where we made an error. As you can see, we placed our cookie dough balls much too close together. And it was definitely my fault. I asked my wife to put 3 dough balls in every row, and it should have only been 2. We didn't discover the error until the cookie dough was already in the oven, but we want you to be able to avoid the same mistake that we made. Alright, we're finishing up the last scoops of cookie dough. This is where we added a bonus step to help the appearance of the cookies. My wife manually added more sprinkles to the top of all of the cookie dough. We highly recommend you do the same. An alternate and less messy way of doing this would be to add sprinkles to a bowl, then roll around each dough ball in the bowl of sprinkles. This helps add sprinkles to the outside of the cookies. And it really does make them more colorful. Finally, the cookie dough balls are ready for the oven. Carefully place your baking sheets in the oven and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes, or at least until the edges are golden brown. While these Team America cookies are baking, it's time for our fun goose fact. Did you know that the giant Canada goose was once thought to be extinct? It wasn't rediscovered until 1962. These geese are extremely large and weigh 11 pounds on average. Sure seems like they wouldn't be good at hide and seek. And now back to the cookies. When the cookies are done baking, carefully remove them from the oven and allow them to cool for around 10 minutes. My wife saved the day with our cookies. They had baked together, so she had the brilliant idea of using cookie cutters. This also had the added benefit of making fun shapes. As a mom, she's always been great at improvising. Thanks to her, these cookies turned out great and looked amazing. It was a fun way for our family to get in the Olympic spirit. The kids loved the taste of the sugar cookies. Overall, this recipe was extremely quick and low effort. These cookies would also work great for July 4th or any other patriotic celebrations. We'll be making them again when we have people over when the Olympics start, and you should too. Now that we've finished these fun patriotic sprinkle cookies, you need to check out our other Olympic recipe for strawberry and blueberry shortcake. See you there!